Alright, I'm back. We're going to do a unboxing and tear down on all three of these ratchets. I had already done the R1XS model, this one here in the center, but the sound on my end seemed like it was kind of corrupted, so I just decided to get rid of it, and we'll just do all three of them together that I got. Don't really have a use for that super long handled one I think they have out, but I may change my mind if I decide that I like these a lot. I might go ahead and get them. But I had a couple gift cards left over from Christmas burning a hole in my pocket, so I figured I'd just get these. But we'll just go over them real quick. This is the R1SG model. This is the 6.5-inch standard ratchet with the comfort grip. And this is the R1ST, the little stubby 2 5/8. So these didn't come like their older models with a little cleaning rag. This is what the case is going to look like when you get it out, and they obviously have a zip tie. This one's already off. But I've seen some of these, some videos on these already, but if you want to try to save these, I know some guys like to save them, these cardboard surrounds that are on these things. It's pretty simple. Just give this a squeeze and then get the anvil kind of tucked in there like that, and then just slowly pull it out, and then that way you can keep your cardboard backer. But these have a zip tie holding them on. That I'll cut off this one and this one off camera, and then we'll get them out of the packs and get back going again. All right, give me a second. All right, I left this R1X or R1XS model in the backer, so I can show you how to get these out of here. These just little clips. I just get them with my thumb. You can push these little clips out. So we'll get all these out and set them out. Take a look at them. And these are pre-lubricated from the factory. They're saying this one, this stubby is 2 5/8 inches, and I think this one was 4 5/8. Yeah, it looks like 4 5/8 there are abouts. All right, and this guy here, they're calling 6.5 inches. So we'll bring him up and let you take a look at him. You can also, on all of them, it looks like they might have some lubrication coming out from behind the anvil. That one not so much, although I have had this one apart, so I know that there's lube in it. But we'll get these backing plates off here real quick, and then we'll take a look at the insides together. This one, it was super tight. Hopefully these aren't super tight. These screws didn't have any Loctite on them, and it took me getting an L head out to break these things free on this guy. But we'll get it out, get it open here again. Try not to swap the pieces out here. I'll probably just take one of them apart and take the covers off of all of them. That way you can get an idea of what they look like inside. All of these should be exactly the same. So they should all have O-rings on the front of the anvil and O-rings on the back of the selector switch. All right, we'll get this cover off here. So this is Harbor Freight's design for these ratchets. It's similar to the snap-on split pawl. They're calling it a split pawl, but it's a solid pawl. It kind of has a gap in between it. It's not floating. Well, it's floating, but it's not split in half with the spring like the snap-ons are. And they're calling this thing, I've always called them cradles, but they're calling this a locking ring or something like that down here at the bottom. But we'll try to get these other two apart on camera. If they're cantankerous, I'll have to get the L-head wrench out after I'm off camera. I don't really want to booger up the screws. Yeah, that one's super tight too. All right, let me have a go at them off camera and I'll get these back plates off of all of them. All right, give me a second. All right, I have no earthly idea why these things were torqued to what they were. They're just so crazy tight. All three of them were like that for me. And this is actually a fairly decent sized handle on this screwdriver. I can feel some thread locker in this one. This 4 5/8 model here, it didn't have any thread locker in the threads. But I can feel some resistance on these guys taking them out, and it looks like it hit. Yeah, this one, see, it's got some sort of whitish thread locker on them. That 4 5/8 model, or what, that R1XS. Come on, focus. Once they were broke free, they were just broke free. We'll get this guy open here. Let you take a look at them. Like I said, they all should be the same, this model here. You can see this light brown. It's not really grease, it's like a light brown machine oil inside of these guys. And I'm pretty sure you can swap the guts from like the T72 snap-on models to these guys. But don't take my word for it. This one definitely has some thread locker on it as well. Some sort of whitish thread locker. These are the screws that were in that first one. They didn't have anything on that one. Same with that one as well. It's got some whitish thread locker on it. I can see it. The screws all look to be the same for all three models. They should all use the same head. Here's what our backing plate looks like. It has a counter bore in it. We'll pull this guy apart, take a look at him. These all should have the same anvil in them. They have a counter bore in the back of the head for, I guess, bearing support. We'll take that, get the tweezers out and take a look at that pawl there. So you can see how this guy is still a single pawl, and that these longer legs are going to go towards you when you take these apart. And there is writing on those, but I just can't make it out. we'll count the teeth. I'll say it's 7 pawls per side. I'll let you guys take a look at it there and pause it if you like. Take a look at it. We'll take our, get these kind of out of the picture so they don't focus on it. We'll take our pawl detent out of here. And like I said before, this is in the last video. It kind of got corrupted or something, I don't know. This is a fairly decent sized pawl for a 1/4 inch ratchet. And to get their locking ring or cradle out of there, I forget what they call it, just kind of go behind the each side of it and kind of kick it out a little bit. Then you ought to be able to grab it with the tweezers. Whoop. Already messed it up. Alright, so there's that cradle there. Just kind of popped out when I flipped it over. And these are steel, they're magnetic. We'll get our switch out of there. You gotta turn it upside down like that and then push it out through the bottom or through the back side. So O-ring on the back side and O-ring on the front side of the anvil. This guy here. We'll take a look at the... It looked like, just by glancing real quick when I started the video, it looked like the crimping, peening on the ball detent was pretty good on all of them. All the anvils were machined. They all have this light lubrication on it. We'll put this guy back together real quick and then we'll take a look at the other ones. Oh, I don't want to do that. Went in the wrong way. Put it in upside down like I'm doing there. Come on, focus. Push it in, then flip it over. Get it into the neutral position. That's what I'm calling the neutral position there. And then you could put your cradle back in. Just pops in. We'll get our pawl detent. Kind of push it down with your finger to make sure that it's set in there. All right. Kick our selector switch over to one side. Kind of like that. And then we can get our anvil back in. Just like that. We'll just check it for function, but we won't rotate the anvil until we get the plate back on. All the plates look to be the same. So these should be just, the head should be identical on all these. Just the overall lengths and of course the over-molded grip. I'm just going to put a little 3-in-1 oil in this if I can find it handy here, just because we've had it out and handled it. We'll just put a dab in there. That's plenty. We'll put our cover plate back on. Put our other screws. I'll eventually put some Loctite on these two. And definitely not torque them down to what they were from the factory. That was crazy. I don't know why I insist on trying to look through the camera whenever I put these screws in. I'm flopping them all around every time I do it. Almost losing my voice here too. That's about all they need. We'll test for function. All right, I'll bring these back up and let you take a look at them. I'll pull the anvil out of this one and we'll take a look at it. So yeah, they're identical. Crimping on the ball detent looks really good on that one. We'll put this guy back in. I don't think this one's going to need any more lube, but let me get these two guys back together here. And we'll see how they do on back drag real quick. But let's just pull this guy out. We said we were going to make it a long video. That one's really oily. Well, I got a ton in that guy. See, it's like this. Doesn't really seem like it's like super lube. It just seems like it's a real high viscosity oil. But the fit and finish on all of them look really good. The machining on all of them look really good as well. Alright, we'll get this guy back together. One went in pretty easy. I want to make sure that they're all, completely seated down into that counter bore. Having a bearing surface in that counter bore, and then on this in this inner diameter on this back plate, these ought to be pretty stout little ratchets. But I'll have to break out one of my parts kits for the T72 snap-on that I have and see if it'll fit in this guy. I think they do, but don't hold me to it. Alright, let me get these guys back together and we'll check back drag real quick. Alright, I went ahead and just put a drop on each thread, or on each screw for this. I guess it's the R1XS model here, since it didn't have any from the factory. I'm just using this. I think this is Permatex Thread Locker Blue. Just a little bit goes a long way, and you can still get the screws out later. This guy right here is probably going to be so light it's not going to be able to give you an idea of how low the back drag on it is, but we'll try it anyway. Ball detent on that guy seems to be pretty good. Nah, it's climbing up, but it's so light, you know what I'm saying? I kind of just give it a little spin with loose fingers there. Super light back drag on that guy. We'll check these other ones out. Ball detent on that one looks really good as well. Feels really good. Pretty good low back drag on that guy too. Pretty stiff ball detent, but on that guy. Yep, these will all break in real nice. Quite a bit quieter than the G1s. And I've never had any problems with my G1s. They don't seem to have a ton of back drag. I don't think they do. Pretty light back drag on it. Pretty quiet. Well, these look like a nice set of ratchets. Got my oily fingerprints all over them for you. Alright guys, I just wanted to do a quick little rundown of these guys. I got these, I guess, the day after they released them, I think is when I ended up getting them. I thought I was just going to do each one of them individually, but I got so many other ratchets that I want to put up that I decided to just do all three of them at the same time. Alright guys, there you go. Take care.